What it is, what is music, it's Ty, and I'm back with another video here today, and today I'm going to be giving my election predictions and path forward for both candidates. As you see right here, I just opened the 270 to win website. So this is the website that you can use as an interactive kind of like electoral map picker. So let's say I thought Texas was going to Democrat, I can click on it and make it blue. That's not going to be my prediction, but I'm going to show you guys what I think will happen, and then I'm going to show paths forward for both Biden and Trump. So, to start off, if Trump wants to win this election, he's got to take Texas and he's got to take Florida. Those are the two main things. If Trump loses Florida, it will be a Biden presidency. The next step Trump will have to do is he'll have to get all the votes in Nebraska. He might not have to, depending on different states, but better safe than sorry. Also, he needs to make sure he keeps Arizona. So even then, you see he has Florida, Texas, Arizona. He's still not enough. Biden's still at 278, and that's a lot of uncertain states. He needs to win North Carolina and Georgia. Those are also two main things. And he also needs to win Iowa. So if you look at this right now, there's this red wall right here. All of this, Illinois will stay blue. These states will stay blue. A lot of these coastal states will also stay blue. Virginia is going to be blue also. So he needs to make sure he locks down the South, which is going to be difficult for Trump because Biden is from the South. Georgia, it's growing a lot more 50-50. It's been growing a lot more blue recently. So he needs to make sure that he takes Georgia in order to win. Also, Ohio. That's another state he has to take. So right now, if this were to hold true, as you see, Trump only has 259 and 278. So for Trump to win, he needs all of these states right here. This is what he needs. Now, with polling, it looks like Wisconsin is going to go blue. It looks like Wisconsin's going to stay blue. It also looks like Michigan is going to stay blue. So that's what I think will happen. I think Wisconsin, Michigan, Illinois, they're all going to stay blue. Minnesota is polling a little bit closer, but I do think that Biden is going to be able to pull out Minnesota. With that being said, Trump needs to take Pennsylvania. And with this, he obviously takes the Electoral College win. So this is Trump's path forward. He needs to keep Texas. He needs to keep Florida. He needs to keep Arizona, North Carolina, Iowa, Nebraska. And then he needs to make sure that he keeps Ohio, which is polling very close. I think Trump might be ahead a little bit, or Biden might be ahead by a point. But he needs to make sure he keeps Ohio, and then he needs to flip Pennsylvania. He needs to flip either Wisconsin or Michigan if he wants to win this election. Minnesota is one where I think he actually has a better chance to flip Minnesota than Wisconsin. So let's say there's a scenario where Biden takes Pennsylvania. Trump is going to need to flip Minnesota, which puts him at 269 and Biden at 268, which means Trump's going to need to get electoral votes from somewhere else. And if not, if it ends up being a 269 to 268 finish, then it is decided by the Senate and the House of Representatives. So the way that works is the House of Representatives picks the president and the Senate picks the vice president. So in that case scenario, it would be a Joe Biden presidency and then a Mike Pence vice presidency. So if he flips Minnesota but not Pennsylvania, he's going to have to get electoral votes from somewhere else. The only place that I could see him maybe get electoral votes from is Nevada. He could maybe flip Nevada. I truly think that Michigan and Wisconsin are out of play. I don't think he's going to be able to get those. So let's look at Biden's path forward. So let's say, I'll go ahead with what I think is going to happen. So I think Iowa's going to stay red. I think Arizona is going to be a lot more 50-50. I don't really know what is going to happen there. I think it might go red. I think he might be able to keep Arizona red. Texas and Florida, I think those are both going to go red also. Georgia, I think, will end up leaning a little bit red. And North Carolina, I think, will be red also. What I think is going to happen in this situation is Minnesota is going to stay blue. And then I also think Ohio is going to stay red. There's a situation where Georgia could go blue. And then there's also a situation where Nevada stays blue. So if I think this is more so what it's going to look like. Maybe more so like this, and then maybe like this. This is kind of like my prediction. I think Biden's going to win. I think it's going to be a lot closer than people are making it out to be, because I think Trump will be able to take Florida. I think he's going to hold on to Arizona and Ohio, but I don't foresee him taking any of these three main swing states that you hear everyone talking about. And Georgia and North Carolina, I mean, they're 50-50. I mean, they could both go red and Biden still wins, or they could go blue, and then that's where you see kind of a landslide. 309 to 228. Now, so that's a path forward. That's what I think will happen. Biden, I mean, he could lose North Carolina, he could lose Georgia, and just hold on to these 3 swing states right here, and he'll be fine. Even if he loses Minnesota, like I said, if he loses Minnesota and that goes red, then it's a 269, 268. So then Joe will still be president. Even if he loses Wisconsin and holds on to Minnesota, Joe will still be president because the House of Representatives is going to elect, obviously, Joe Biden. It depends on what the Republicans are going to do for Senate. If the Republicans end up, you know what, it's better for the country, let's elect a Democrat vice president with a Democrat president, then we'll see a Biden-Harris. But with our political sphere and landscape right now, I presume that the Senate will 100% vote a Republican if it goes down to something like this. So a Biden-Pence presidency is possible, but not very probable, because I think Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania are all going to stay blue. Basically, the fact of the matter is, even if this flips, even if Nevada flips, Trump needs to win Florida 100%, and he needs to win Ohio 100%. He needs to keep Georgia, North Carolina, and Arizona, which those are looking a little bit iffy right now. He also would need to flip one of these 3 states. As you see, the path forward for Trump is a lot more difficult than Biden, because Biden obviously has these 55 electoral votes in California, and he has the East Coast on lock, including New York's 29. So Biden could lose all of these swing states, and he would lose. But the way it's polling right now, it looks like that these are going to stay the same. With that being said, I do think Republicans are going to keep hold of the Senate. I've heard a lot of talk about that. And most of these spots that are up for re-election are ones in Iowa, and I think Iowa's going to go red. So I think Joni Ernst will still be Senate there. I know one is up in Utah. I think that will stay red also. And there's a few up somewhere else. I can't really remember off the top of my head, but I think the Senate will stay red. I think the House will stay blue, and I think the presidency for 2020 will go to Joe Biden. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Deuces.